No one get this close.
The movie opens in an underground boxing ring where Carter, riding a streak of victories, oozes confidence. But the atmosphere shifts the moment Dalton, a notorious feared fighter, enters the ring. As he pulls off his hoodie, Carter's bravado vanishes. This is a winner-takes-all fight. Realizing he's outmatched, Carter wisely forfeits the fight, surrendering the prize money to Dalton. But a furious thug, enraged over a lost bet, lunges to stab Dalton. It backfires instantly. Dalton barely flinches, standing tall like a superhero as the attacker realizes just how badly he's miscalculated. As Dalton tends his wound, a woman named Frankie approaches, instantly recognizing him. She explains that troublemakers have taken over her bar, and the police have been powerless to help. Impressed by Dalton's presence, she offers him the job of head bouncer, $5,000 a week, totaling $20,000 a month. Dalton isn't convinced. With no phone, no home, and a battered car, life has worn him down. At a train crossing, he briefly contemplates giving up. But as he hesitates, his car stalls and a train crashes into it. Miraculously, Dalton walks away with barely a scratch. Maybe Frankie's offer is worth considering after all. Dalton arrives in a quiet town and meets Charlie, a young woman who runs a bookstore with her father. They direct him to the bar, ironically called the Roadhouse. Inside, the waiter Billy immediately recognizes him. It seems Dalton has gained something of a legendary reputation. For now, the place feels calm enough that Dalton even remarks on the laid-back vibe. Laura, the barista, just laughs, knowing it won't last. And she's right. That night, all hell breaks loose. Bottles shatter, punches fly, even the band joins the brawl. But Dalton? He stays on the sidelines, just watching. Wait, if you're enjoying this video, don't just stand around like Dalton from the Roadhouse. Hit that like button and subscribe for more epic stories coming your way. Now, back to it. When a biker gang storms in, Laura instantly senses trouble. They waste no time tearing the place apart. That's when Dalton steps in. Cool and collected.
Oh, who the fuck are you, Mr. Smiley?
Smiley?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably the punching thing.
Another one.
He strolls outside and casually sabotages their bikes, immediately drawing their attention. As they confront him, he offers them a chance to walk away, throwing in a few dry jokes about insurance and how close the nearest hospital is. But once the fight starts, Dalton dismantles them with ease, dodging punches and dropping each one effortlessly, without even breaking a sweat. After the fight, Dalton borrows Frankie's car and personally drives the injured bikers to the hospital. A nurse named Ellie playfully calls him a troublemaker for showing up with a car full of bruised thugs. But when she spots his own injury and the rough bandage he's using, she offers to patch him up properly. She teases him, asking if he ever actually wins these fights. But Dalton, cool as ever, replies that no one really wins a fight. As he leaves, a few rough-looking guys are already sizing him up, itching for trouble. Back at the Roadhouse, Frankie hands him his first week's pay and offers him a place to stay, her old boathouse. She jokes about a crocodile that likes to hang around and warns him to stay on his toes. And the boathouse? It's literally called the boat. Seriously, who names these places? That night, Dalton is haunted by a vivid nightmare, reliving his last UFC fight as the challenger. Just as the tension in the dream peaks, Laura arrives with breakfast and gently wakes him. She mentions the Roadhouse has gone through plenty of bouncers, but hopes Dalton will be different. Later, at Charlie's bookstore, he uses the computer and learns his fight with the biker gang is already town gossip. While he's browsing, more bikers cause chaos at a nearby shop. Charlie grabs a bat, ready to confront the bikers, who laugh until Dalton shows up. Their confidence vanishes, and they back off without a fight. In the days that follow, Dalton starts to settle in, building friendships and feeling at home. Meanwhile, out on a gently rocking boat, biker boss Brant gets a shave, quietly biding his time. Frustrated, Brant vents his bikers were meant to intimidate, but Dalton is ruining the plan. Back at the Roadhouse, a fight breaks out over music. Dalton uses it as a teaching moment for Billy, advising him to keep his distance if someone pulls a knife. Billy follows Dalton's advice and breaks up the fight. When things heat up again, Dalton steps in briefly, then lets Billy handle it, giving him the confidence to lead. Over the next few days, Dalton continues training him, and Billy catches on fast. Meanwhile, Dalton begins to notice another employee, Reef, particularly the scars on his knuckles. Dalton soon realizes Reef is a boxer and sees potential. He pairs him with Billy, creating a strong team to maintain order at the Roadhouse, giving Dalton a chance to step back. One night, while escorting a drunk patron out, he spots the biker gang lurking outside. The bikers glare at him and vow to return. That night, Dalton is haunted by UFC-era nightmares when he was bold, reckless, and unafraid to pick fights. Now, he's more guarded. The next morning at the Roadhouse, he runs into Ellie again and finds himself wondering why everyone in this town seems so hostile. Dalton and Ellie's bond grows, their playful banter turning increasingly flirtatious. After another week on the job, he collects his pay and heads back to the boathouse. But on the way, he spots a car tailing him. Suddenly, it speeds up. Dalton barely dodges as it barrels forward, smashing into him in a nearby truck, sending both over the edge of the bridge. Dalton survives the crash, but back at the boathouse, he finds Dell, the biker gang leader, waiting with a gun. Thinking fast, Dalton flips the table, shattering Dell's knees and knocking him into the water. He tries to avoid further bloodshed, but Frankie's crocodile warning proves real. The massive reptile surfaces, and Dell never makes it out. The next morning, police search the waters for Dell's body, but a local casually notes that crocodiles tend to stash their prey, so chances of finding him are slim. Later at the bookstore, Charlie shows Dalton a map of the Roadhouse, and something about it sparks his suspicion. As he steps outside, a stranger confronts him, ordering him into a car to meet Brant, proof that Dalton's presence is starting to shake the wrong people.
See what I mean? It's really painful.
Meanwhile, the injured man returns to Brant, admitting he couldn't bring Dalton in. Furious, Brant feels his plan slipping away, all thanks to one relentless bouncer. Just as he's about to lose it, a call comes in. It's his father calling from prison. Brant hurls the phone out the window, ordering the man with the broken finger to fetch it. Meanwhile, Knox, hungover from a wild night, gets a call from Brant's father, asking him to fix the mess Brant made. Knox agrees without hesitation. Elsewhere, Ellie surprises Dalton by borrowing her ex's boat and taking him to her favorite quiet spot out at sea. As they talk, Dalton mentions his run-ins with a man named Brant. Ellie explains that Brant's family is incredibly wealthy and owns much of the land around town. When the conversation turns to Dalton's past, he grows uneasy, warning her it's not something she'd want to hear. But Ellie already knows, and it doesn't change the way she sees him. Dalton finally lets his guard down, opening up to Ellie as they share a quiet, intimate moment. Meanwhile, Knox roars into town in a flashy Ferrari, knocking over motorcycles outside Brant's house without a second thought. Announcing his arrival with a snide comment about the lack of food, he greets Brant with a sharp slap, making it clear their father sent him to clean up the mess and take care of one problem, Dalton. Despite the slap, Brant convinces Knox to give him one last chance to handle Dalton himself. Later, Ellie drops Dalton off at the boathouse, where police officers are waiting to take him in for questioning about Dell's disappearance. At the station, the sheriff delivers a not-so-subtle ultimatum: leave town or suffer the consequences. Dalton's calm, defiant replies only fuel their anger. The officers drag him from the car, beat him, and hold him at gunpoint. Just then, Ellie arrives and slaps the sheriff, her father, before taking Dalton home. On the way, she explains her father once worked closely with Brant's dad, but after his arrest, shifted loyalties to Brant. Meanwhile, Brant stirs up trouble at the bookstore. That evening, as Dalton returns to the Roadhouse, Brant finally shows up, ready for a direct confrontation. Brant quickly realizes Dalton can't be threatened or bought. After uncovering footage of Dalton's infamous UFC fight where he killed an opponent, he unleashes his enforcer, Knox. The biker gang storms the Roadhouse, and Knox boldly claims the bar as his own, trashing it and dragging a woman from her date to mark his chaotic arrival. Billy and Reef jump in to stop the chaos, but Knox easily takes them out, knocking Billy unconscious and flooring Reef. As the bar erupts into a full-blown brawl, Dalton's quiet coffee break is cut short. Knox makes it clear he came to town for one reason: to fight Dalton. Dalton and Knox finally clash, but Knox's brute strength and gang support overwhelm him.
Get this close.
After a vicious beating, Knox drags Dalton outside and leaves him bloodied in the dirt. Still, Dalton rises and walks off as Ellie and the police arrive, the Roadhouse wrecked behind them. As Dalton packs at the boathouse, Frankie confesses the truth. Brand plans to build a luxury resort, and she's the last one refusing to sell. Though Dalton seems unmoved, she admits she's never been more afraid. Meanwhile, Brant, reviewing his blueprints, learns Dalton is still alive. On his way to the bus stop, Dalton spots smoke billowing from Charlie's bookstore. Firefighters say she and her father were rushed to the hospital. Remembering her kindness, Dalton can't walk away. He turns and heads straight for Brant's estate. Dalton corners one of Brant's men and warns him burning Charlie's bookstore was a fatal mistake. He crushes the man's trachea and shoves him into the pool, watching him thrash. Calmly, Dalton admits he's not afraid of others, but of what he becomes when pushed too far, because he knows exactly what comes next. The man dies silently in the pool, his body left floating. Nearby, a shaken biker watches Dalton load the injured goon into a truck and quickly spills key intel. Brant has a major money drop coming up. Dalton moves fast. He tracks down a corrupt cop, knocks him out, and finds a suitcase stuffed with life-changing cash. Without hesitation, he frames the officer for murder, then knocks him out again to complete the setup. Dalton uses a payphone to tip off both the police and the press about the location. After finishing the setup with explosives, Ellie's father arrives in a panic. Brant has taken Ellie and is threatening to kill her unless the money is returned. Unsure if the threat is real but unwilling to gamble with Ellie's life, Dalton grabs the cash and heads out. Dalton quietly commandeers a boat, slipping away unnoticed even by Ellie's ex, a police officer. Meanwhile, Knox storms into Brant's estate only to find it deserted. Out on Brant's yacht, the sheriff lounges, brushing off talk of Ellie's kidnapping until Brant casually admits it's true. That's when Dalton appears, revealing the real plan he's been setting into motion all along. Fuming with rage, Brant demands his money, furious that Dalton continues to sabotage everything. Just then, Knox arrives on the horizon, creating a perfect diversion. Dalton seizes the moment, detonating the explosives and plunging the scene into chaos. Amid the smoke and confusion, he slips away to find Ellie locating her locked in a room, just as the blast blows the window open. Dalton and Ellie dive into the water as attackers close in. While he fights them off, Ellie reaches a boat only to find Brant already aboard. He seizes her and speeds off toward the Roadhouse. Meanwhile, Dalton battles Knox, then boards Brant's boat mid-chase. As Knox lunges, Dalton yanks the wheel, flinging him overboard. Furious, Brant charges his boat straight at Dalton in a final desperate move. Dalton leaps aboard just in time and finds Ellie struggling with Brant. Stepping in, he lands a punch that drops Brant. The boat capsizes near the Roadhouse, but Dalton and Ellie escape unharmed. Brant survives the crash, only to lunge at Dalton with a fishing spear. Dalton quickly disarms him and knocks him out for good. Knox shows up, ready for a rematch, this time on even ground. The fight is fierce and unrelenting, with both men trading brutal blows. Dalton holds his own, but Knox's hits grow more punishing, the violence escalating with every punch. Dalton manages to trap him in a headlock, but Knox breaks free by stabbing him in the gut. Reeling, Dalton stumbles back as Knox moves in for the final blow, urged on by Brandt's shouts to finish the job. Annoyed by Brandt's meddling, Knox turns on him, buying Dalton a vital moment to recover. Dalton grabs 2 wooden sticks and, in a brutal final showdown, brings Knox down for good. With the fight over, the sheriff arrives, tells Dalton he's in the clear, but advises him to leave town. Frankie stays hopeful, believing the Roadhouse will bounce back. In the final scene, Dalton's bus pulls away just as Charlie's father discovers a suitcase full of cash. Grateful and wanting to thank him, he looks up, but Dalton has already disappeared.